Oh, Joe.
Oh.
I didn't put them there. I don't know.
I did. I had to have. You wouldn't have done that.
That's actually a really good spot for him. Hey, can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me?
I just heard you on your phone.
Yeah, well, that I turned it down now, but I'm
good.
like in and out on my mic. Joe, are you plugged in?
Hey, Joe. Testing.
You mean my mic?
Now
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Ben.
Marla, are you watching with Ben?
What happened?
No, he said and Marla.
Yeah. Where are we at here? Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the show before the show. Hi, Marla. Hi, Ben. Getting things rocking and rolling. All right. Hey, guys. Happy Monday, July 29th.
Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. I like that, Chris. I haven't heard that one in a while.
No doubt about it. Here we go. There we go. Moving, shaking. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. I don't think we had major issues with platforms on Friday, right? Was it just a few people that said they had issues with the platforms?
Yeah, they were freezing on Facebook. freezing up, and then they were having to log out and then log back in.
Okay.
So I'd say there was, well, the ones that I know of were about 6, but let us know if you guys have any issues. We had some hot topics though. Joe, do you see Joe over there?
What?
He's feeling it this morning.
Oh,
Man,
Joe,
don't
this
stop.
song, there's
Don't
something
stop.
about it, man.
Where's your video?
Oh, yeah, it's right here. I just
Come
put it
on.
No, I'm good.
Show everybody your jams.
Just having a good Monday, okay?
I love that. You have a good Monday, then we'll have a good Monday. It's a chain reaction.
That's what we'll do. Good morning, everybody. I'm just looking at Chris and Darren and Karen.
Erog. Erog's. He's on. Good morning, Gary.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Getting the show ready to go.
Oh no. Chris, what were you in Canada for?
Oh, he was in Canada, huh? Thanks, guys, for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. All right, it is a Monday. Hope everybody's doing well here. Like, subscribe, share the show. We'll get stuff going here just a little bit, getting people going. Another busy weekend of news, Monday news. Follow up, lots of stuff on Mondays all the time. We know that. It seems to happen. Oh, a friend's son's wedding in Canada.
Nice.
Boom, boom.
Bindi, is it raining where you are? It didn't start raining here, did it?
It was out in St. Charles, I thought.
Oh.
St. Charles
I was
County.
going to say it was dry at my house.
That's not all that far from you, though, at
Mm-mm.
all.
No.
It's starting to sprinkle out there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's looking like it's getting ready.
Yeah. Well, Gary, don't keep it a secret. What were you seeing that we weren't seeing on the news?
We may not have seen something. Hey guys, thanks for coming into the show. Getting ready to start. Joe, I'm sending you one more picture, then we'll go ahead and start the show, okay? I absolutely have to show this funny poll from Fox News. Oh, and of course my email's lagging up when I'm trying to do it. I may have to wait on it. Okay, buddy. We can go ahead and get the show started. Hey guys, welcome to canceltheshow.com. It is Monday. It is July 29th. We're happy to be with you. I'm Vic Faust. That pretty lady is Megan Marie Moret. Projo in the house as well. Projo, do you have your camera up and running yet? Is he
I
not?
do.
Oh, okay. Well, I love to
There
see
he
you.
is.
Yeah. Okay, Projo, we have to show people just what's going on. He's in this dark little area today because where we broadcast live out of, it is dark in this area today. So that's where it is this morning. It's a little dark, but we're glad you're with us. You know what we do: news headlines, politics, water cooler talk, cancel culture, education, the stories, making a difference in the world, the election, all those things happening. We do it right now from 8 to 10 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. And of course, we'll keep you posted on any possible changes with that. All right, we're grateful that we're here. We're grateful that Megan has come back with us. I love it because for the foreseeable future, Megan has agreed to join us.
Yes.
She has agreed to help us. She
Mhm.
has agreed to bring herself in and get herself out of bed
Mhm.
and come in and help us. And Joe and I are grateful for
Thanks,
that.
guys.
Absolutely
It's a
grateful.
pleasure.
With that being said, glad everybody's in with us as well today. We got a lot of news to get to. Also, we've been trying to do something because you want to get to know people better and do those things. So my girlfriend and I went over to your house because we had
Yeah.
said, hey, you guys want to go out to dinner sometime? So we were trying to go out to dinner. And then you're like, oh, well, we like to cook. So we
Yeah.
went over to your house
Yes.
on Saturday
It was a lot of fun.
and had a blast. Thank you.
Good.
Your
Yeah.
husband is my business hero.
Yeah. He
I
loves what he does.
I
That's
want
for
time.
sure.
I want time with him.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, I'm just listening and listening and listening. Anyway, it was a
Yeah.
blast. We appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys are a blast too. That's for sure.
The only thing is, I got a Megan and a Megan.
Yep.
A Megan and a Megan. A Megan and a
It's
Megan.
tough.
And you guys are born like within a day of each other.
Yep. Both Sagittarius. Yep.
Yeah. You have this.
Mhm.
You guys have a similar necklaces that you wear too.
Yes.
So
Yep.
people are saying great news, awesome news. Obviously, we're grateful that you could
Aw,
come in
thanks.
and be a part with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
When circumstances and people move on.
Mhm.
You know.
Well, I appreciate the nice comments more than you guys realize. Thank you very much because I want to make sure I love you guys and I've gotten to know you guys over just chatting over, the last year plus. So, I'm glad that you guys are being so nice about it because I want to make sure that I bring you what you guys want to hear too. And I love to hear what you say as well.
Well, the other thing too is you have your trafficking podcast,
Mhm.
which is still going to rock and roll. You haven't even dropped that yet. You've been building the episodes, which are
Yes.
phenomenal, and your material is absolutely terrific. And I know that when people start to see, they're going to know you from this show, but they're going to know you from that show as well.
Yeah. And I love both. And as you guys heard me say over the weekend, I love them equally as much. I love talking about the stuff that we talk about today on politics and culture, and then also the trafficking. And I do believe that they are intertwined more than people realized. And that is
How is that?
well, if you look, look at the current situation that we have in the United States. We touch base on this often. Just how many people are involved in trafficking, how many children are involved in trafficking, and then you go to the policies on the border. And look, it doesn't mean that only people that are brought here are going to be trafficked. I'm not saying that at all. It happens right here in our own backyards. It happens with American citizens that, traffic people all the time, even family members. But to add to the high rate of trafficking right now, a lot of it is due to the border. And we're trying to, eradicate what's happening with our own American children. And now we've been we have this whole other large population of people and children that we're trying to help, and it makes it hard. It makes it almost feel hopeless sometimes. And so I think that our legislation and the way that we're doing things right now is not helping the situation at all. And like I said last week, if you're going to, be this country of open arms, come here, we're going to support you, we're going to give you a safe place. Well, then you better darn well make sure that all of those people that you are having come here for a quote unquote safe place or education, that you're giving them a safe place and that you're not putting them in harm's way. That just makes me sick. It really does. And then when I hear people like Kamala Harris up there on her podium talking about how she will never ever close the doors to people that want to come here. Well, okay, that's great. You can stand up there and act like you're, the fairy godmother, and you're just, blessing all of these people with this beautiful life, when in fact it becomes a horrendous, torturous, awful, awful life. And so that's how it all kind of, comes together. And we got to make sure that we tell the truth and we see the truth, and let people know that it is not just this this beautiful world where we can just have people from all over the world come and join us here in the United States. That is not happening. It is not happening.
Well, I'm glad that you broke it down. I had a feeling that might be where it's going, but media doesn't cover it that way.
No.
And media doesn't cover it enough, and people forget about kids, which
Yeah.
is sad, and adults, and men and women who are being trafficked. And when
That's right.
you start to do more of that and start to drop it, we'll let people know about your podcast.
Yeah.
that's for
Yeah. And
sure.
we were going to drop it a while back. And then because I like to make sure that the information is as close to 100% factual, I went back in and redid a little things, because you guys, I'm always learning too. And I'm always going to conferences for law enforcement and training and stuff. And so things are ever evolving. So I just want to make sure that what I'm giving people and what I'm telling people and educating people on, I want to make sure that it is, as truthful as I possibly can.
Well, we're grateful that you're with us. You're getting lots of compliments. Thank you for joining us, as we'll have it every day. We are grateful for you being there, and people who are chiming in on the chat line are saying that as well. You can give her well wishes.
Thanks,
But we're
guys.
grateful to have you here. And you make a mean turkey and ham.
Mm-hmm.
What would you call what you made?
I don't know. People listening probably know, like, it's a lot of people do it for like tailgates and stuff. You know how you get the King's Hawaiian buns, and normally you do like ham and Swiss, and then you melt the butter. I know some people do Italian dressing. That's what it is. They do Italian dressing and butter, and then they drizzle that over. But I do butter, minced garlic, poppy seeds, Worcestershire, and Dijon mustard. And then you put that on. But I don't eat red meat, so that's why half of them were turkey. So I had turkey and pepper jack on half, and then I did the ham and Swiss.
Does your
on the
husband eat red
other.
meat?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm
good.
the only one.
All right.
Yeah,
I was just making
I'm
sure.
the only one. Well, my middle kid, he has the same aversion to most foods like that too. So, but he's coming along a little bit.
Guess who
So,
else doesn't eat a lot of red meat?
Meg?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I
The other
never
one.
since I was a kid. And I love animals, but it does not have anything to do.
I get
It doesn't have anything to do with animals or PETA or anything like that. I just don't like it. I don't like the looks of it, the smell of it.
No, I get it, and it's
Yeah.
all good. All right, this is cancelthisshow.com. Glad everybody's with us. That's Megan. I'm Vic. We got Projo in the house as well. You can jump on our chat line as well. You can watch us on Rumble, on X, YouTube, and Facebook, of course. And then when the show ends, we go straight to the audio podcast as well. Please like, subscribe, share the show, let people know. We accept donations as well. There's a donate button. You can find it on your phone and or laptop computer if you're using that. We're grateful for everybody doing what they can to help promote us. We are just grateful. Okay. Big stories from the weekend. I mean, don't we have to kind of have to start with the Olympics? I mean, the opening
Mhm.
ceremony. I know people have been talking about it for a few days, but you already know what happened. They mocked the Last Supper. They did. And then they're trying to console, well, it wasn't the Last Supper we're mocking. And then they've come out and the Olympic Committee and said, we were focused on acceptance in the community. And it's like, we damn well know what they did. This is all a part of the deep state, the New World world order, the evil in this country, the evil in this world, allowing it to happen in France, and using a little girl to
Mhm.
do it as well. Look at the video and the pictures that we have. You've seen it, or if you haven't, it may shock you what they did using that person in the middle. But look at this little girl to the left. They were even using that little girl in there to be a part of this as well,
Mhm.
and to mock. I mean, literally mock Christians, mock the Last Supper, also mock Christians all over the world, and then come out and, and use a transgender torch lighter who has now come out and basically threatened Christians if you've got a problem with this transgender. And this is what it's about. This is what the world has become. It's what Europe is, definitely what France is. And we sit back and we watch this stuff. And it's sad because the ceremony itself on the water and bringing the teams in from the countries, I thought was absolutely, it was gorgeous. But then they
Mhm.
ruin it with this kind of crap that
Mhm.
nobody needs. It has nothing to do with the Olympics. It has nothing to do with French culture unless that's what France has become.
Is that little girl doing a Baphomet pose?
Oh my God. It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that. And if you're not familiar with the Baphomet pose, check it out. An evil, devilish type of person, pure evil from the chat line.
Mhm.
Trans, etc., is their religion. Disgusting media from Ben. All of these things happening, which just, it's not what you need in the freaking
No, we don't.
at the Olympics. They
Yeah.
came out. Now the director said we did a great job.
Mhm.
We did exactly what they want to do. We didn't mean to offend anybody.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. We appreciate that then. Thanks for
Yeah.
letting us know.
Well, so when I first watched this, the thing with me is that I'm not shocked at this at all.
I guess
I
I'm
mean,
not either.
I'm really not. And so I know that people said that it was insulting to them. And I think that we've made a really strong point in saying that the Christian conservative values have been under attack for a long time. So when you see something like this, it's not shocking. We're under attack all the time. We're under attack if we fly an American flag, in front of our home. We're under attack if we say that we don't want children being exposed to certain material in school that's completely inappropriate. We're under attack. So when I see something like this, honestly, I'm more convicted. I am more convicted to know that I do not wish to be like any single person that was on that screen except for the athletes. And the athletes, a lot of these people have been working most of their life to get to this place. And so for them to go and to show up and to do everything that they want to do, and then for them to try to represent something that has zero to do with the Olympic Games. And that, they try to come back and they're like, look, it was all about inclusion. It was all about inclusion. So my question then to them is if you're going to include people, why would you basically ostracize and completely not take into consideration the feelings of many Christians? We're not stupid. You're not stupid. You had 13 people up at that table, just as there are 13 people at the Last Supper. So please don't try to rearrange it and try to give us your new definition of what things are. We see what just happened, and it was just inappropriate. Am I insulted? No. People like this do not insult my Christian faith at all. I mean, honestly, do I think that the media needs to do a better job of not allowing these things? Absolutely. Because if it were to have been about Muhammad and the Muslim religion or anything to do with that, or even the Jewish religion or any other religion, if that would have happened, there would probably be rioting going on right now. There would probably be major protests going on right now. And I think that the voices of the Christians right now, it definitely is being heard because they tried to come back, take everything back and just said, it's France. We just love to be, cultural, and we love to just like do things on the edge. Nice try, but we see what you did. And again, I mean, we just, and the great thing about this whole thing is what these people don't realize is that Jesus wants all of those people that you saw up on that table, whether they were trans or children or atheists or Satanists or whatever they are. He says, come to my table. So you might be thinking that you're giving a jab to people, but really the most beautiful thing about it is that Jesus would want all of those people to come to the table. So it's for him to heal. And we just need to keep our eyes on what's important, and that's our faith, and to be truthful and bold and kind all at the same time.
Sorry if you're offended, basically was the answer.
Right.
Also, call the things out that you see. Or if you're calling it out another way is you boycott or you don't have anything to do with what's going on.
Mhm.
Now, it's sad because if you like sports like I do, if you've always loved the Olympics like I do, this is a sideshow that tries to take it tries to take center stage, and it
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
It should have no basis of anything. And then here's what you do. There's a tech company, Megan, out of Mississippi. It's a Mississippi-based C Spire. You know what they did? They saw it. They were shocked by the display. So what they did is they pulled their advertising just like that. That's what
Yeah.
you do. You pull advertising right out of the damn Olympics.
Yeah. Money is really the only thing that hurts these kind of people. They're not in it. For them to be criticized for it and to say, hey, look, this was not right on any level. They don't care. They don't feel the same things that we feel. They're just not capable of it. But when you start taking away, the monetary value of things, that's when they feel it. And again, it's so sad because, these people that have worked so hard, they deserve to be showcased. They deserve for the world to watch them. And for so many people now to say, hey, you know what, we can't have any part of this. I mean, I'm hearing so many people say that they absolutely will not turn the Olympics on moving forward.
I couldn't blame them
Yeah.
if they did because of everything that we have seen happen.
Yeah, it's just not fair. It really is.
Chris says if anybody's ever been to France, have you been to France, and more so Paris?
Yes.
How long ago has it been?
Let's see, Paris in particular, probably 10 years, but I'm going again.
He says it's hedonistic.
Oh, definitely.
He says the society is disguised as avant-garde.
Yes.
Has been that way since before World War II.
Yeah. Well, and there's just a lot of Roman influence and Greek influence everywhere across Europe. So you're going to get that. But the French, they're more on the edge. They like to kind of see how far they can push things. And most people are completely acceptant of those things. But, it is a world stage, and, it's happening all over. It's not just happening there.
And it's not the athlete's fault.
No.
It's not. And they get stuck in the middle because somebody tries to hijack this major worldwide event. But we're also told, look at what happens when it comes to New World Order and what they want. And we've seen displays like this at certain worldwide events.
Yeah.
We see it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
You have to call it out. You have to know who you are. You have to know about your faith and know that these kinds of things are going to be pushed on you and, more importantly, your kids, which is why you have to be strong in who you are. Know who you are, know your faith, and be able to give an account of it if pushed into that direction. I just think it's sad.
And look at all the elections that have taken place, just as of recently in France. I mean, they are really going left nutso over there. I mean, everything that they're doing seems to be, definitely weighted heavy on the left side. So again, this was just no surprise at all. And I didn't see the shock value in any of it like many people did. I mean, I personally have been, to so many places where Christians are persecuted. We know how it is. I mean, that's why, Vic started the show, is so that people have a voice, so that you can have your conservative, voice heard without people canceling it. So there's a cancel culture is big, and, you just can't allow something like this to make you want to stop speaking the truth and standing up for the truth. And honestly, can you imagine each of those people, maybe except for the little girl, because she's just a child still, but all of those people, imagine what their lives are like when they go home. Imagine when they packed up at the end of the night. Can you imagine what they went home to, or just how their day-to-day life is? It's really sad, because I can't imagine that they have this beautiful life and that they, have this, this faith in something that is so big and so much, more powerful than them. I just would not want to, I just imagine their lives being really full of sorrow and maybe hate. And I don't want any part of that. So
I don't think there's any way in hell this would have been done in the United States when the Olympics were here. Now, 2028, they go to LA. No way in hell.
no,
even,
I don't
even
think so
as
either.
evil as some people and some groups can be, I don't
Mhm.
think it is. I think it shows you again what is happening in Europe. Kevin says Satan is working hard to get more souls. Kimberly even says, wait until the crazies in LA host the Olympics. Who knows what they'll do?
Yeah.
I don't know, but who knows where this world will be in 4 years?
Mhm.
I want to see where this world will be January 2025.
Exactly. Me
Yeah,
too.
I've been
Can we
talking.
just skip forward and get to it
Uh,
already?
Yeah, exactly.
So
It just, the whole thing was just sickening to me and frustrating when I saw everything.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, oh man.
And again, watch what they're doing. And it's just like here in the United States, they are trying to normalize all of these things that we're watching. And you have to be vigilant in knowing that it is not normal. They're trying to, to normalize drag queens and trans. There, and you know what? There's a time and a place and a community for these people. And it is not, and I don't, you can challenge me on this until you're blue in the face. It is not, the time and place is not for the world to see. And when there are kids watching, I don't care. You don't need to be a drag queen to make a point. Like, so it's never going to be normal. It's like I said, you do that on your, your time and place in your community, but to dress men up and explicitly. It's not like they're just coming up in like an evening gown. I mean, they've got their top hanging out, they've got their butt cheeks hanging out, all of it. I mean, it's just inappropriate all the way around. So we have to make sure that we do not allow this to become normal, because they're doing it little by little by little with all of it.
Susan says, oh my God, who would want to have the Olympics in California? Well, cities bid and they host, and a lot of back room deals are made and money exchanged and ideas. So anyway, it is what it is. It happened. You can't take it back, but at least you recognize, and people will show you who they are real quick. People will show you, you'll see people's hearts. You'll see who they are. And you can trust your instincts on a lot of people, and you see where it is. If anybody thinks anything about that presentation was good, be careful. That's all I have to say is be careful, because that'll show you a lot of who you're dealing with. Because using a 12-year-old girl, shame on you, to be in a situation where they are absolutely mocking Christianity in the Last Supper is ridiculous. So,
and again, they're so good at gaslighting. For them to turn it around and basically say, to the people that are opposing it, they're like, oh my gosh, why would you ever think that this had anything to do with the Last Supper? This is just all about inclusion. Really? I mean, just so the gaslighting effect is just so big, when it comes to things like this. It just, and you just have to remember, you're like, no, we see you. We know what you're doing.
Also, I did see something, and let me know about this on Reddit. Heather said, did you guys see what was happening in Venezuela over the weekend with the elections? They tried to get rid of their dictator, and he shut down the internet in certain areas and closed polling places. Those people want a better life and country. At one point in time, Venezuela was a successful, thriving, beautiful country. It is not now, and we got a lot of the thugs here in this country now.
I can see that happening here.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I've said so many times that, I feel like I'm watching a Venezuela take two here in this country. The way that they broke down the Venezuelan country was just to put citizens against citizens, and it was propaganda based. And people just started to hate each other, and that is what happened. And that was the fall of Venezuela, and it's happening here. So if you go back and you look into, how it got as bad as it did, you will see very, very many similarities.
Man, oh man. And by the way, they were not able. The last update I got is the same man stayed in power. So if you want to correct me if I'm wrong, go ahead and let me know. But I thought I saw an update this morning, a news update, that they were able to do this and control voting and control the outcome, which I know a lot of people are very afraid of when it comes to this country. But of course, if you're a Republican and it's a Democrat, you have a problem. But then Democrats say, oh, if a Republican doesn't win, then you automatically think that, oh, there was some sort of cheating going on.
Mhm.
And you know what I'm saying when it comes to that. So
Yeah.
anyway, the Olympics are a good thing, or at least they can be a good thing. They should be
Yeah,
a good thing.
If it should do anything, it should be to unify people. It should be to keep it about what we're watching, and that is the hard work of the most superb athletes in the entire world. And that should, if there's going to be anything, it should unify people. We've seen in sports that it definitely can be divisive when you have, people like Colin Kaepernick. I always talk about him because I'm still just so disappointed that we even allowed that whole kneeling thing to happen and things like that. But it should be to unify, and it should not be political in any way, shape, or form. It should not be religious in any way, shape, or form. And for them to have taken that platform and to turn it into that is really disappointing for the athletes.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, Projo in the house as well. You can like, subscribe, share the show. We love it. You can watch us on X, on Rumble, on YouTube. We're grateful from that standpoint as well. We do this Monday through Friday right now, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Just let us know your thoughts if we're missing anything, if anything else is going on. There is one thing when it comes to the Olympics. This kind of blew my mind. Look at this Olympic slide. There's a few countries that show what you make. Now, these athletes bust their ass. Now, they can get some endorsement deals at some places, but look how much money they make for the particular medals that they get.
Yeah.
And Joe will slide it for us. Okay, France, $71,000 for a gold medal. And then it goes in after about 27,000, 16,000 for silver and bronze. How about that in Singapore?
Wow. Unbelievable.
$737,000 for a gold medal. I've got no problem if a country can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the time, the work, the money, the effort that goes into that, followed by 368,000 for silver, 184,000 for bronze for Singapore. Just wait till you see some of the other countries. Spain checking in at about 100,000 and 52,000.
Spain needs to step up.
Oh, just wait till you see some of the other countries. How about the United States of America? $37,000 for a gold medal. Now, can anybody? I'm like, is it possible that they get endorsement deals elsewhere and that makes up for it? But 37.
I mean,
we're the
can
number
do
one
better
country
than
in the
that.
world when it comes to total medals. Sometimes we lose when it comes to golds to China. But $37,000 for a gold medal.
Yeah.
22 for a silver and 15. The great United States of America. How about Italy? About 200,000 for a gold, followed by about 100,000 for silver and 65 for bronze. And Germany, even lower in the United States, 21,000, 16,000, and 10,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you want to be Taiwanese.
Yeah.
$716,000 for a gold medal.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you do.
Yeah, 250 for silver, 179 for bronze. I'm still Norway, you don't get anything.
Oh, geez. That's a ripoff.
But doesn't Norway pay for all of you? Isn't everybody saying, oh, we should have healthcare like Norway? They pay for everything and they pay for. Is it Norway that way?
Yeah, it is.
Morocco, if anybody cares, 220,000 for a gold. Kazakhstan, how about this? Kazakhstan, a 3-room apartment for a gold, a 2-room apartment for silver, and a 1-room apartment for bronze.
Oh,
what the hell? It didn't make any sense to me.
I guess they're just lucky if they have a roof over their head and they're like, hey, we'll just make sure you have shelter and that's it.
What was the gold medal for the United States again that they give? Can anybody remember?
I think it was 38,000.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I mean, 38,000. That was
15 for the bronze, 15 or 17 for the bronze. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
In the especially when we're supposed to be this great country with all this money, and of course, we're not taking care of our athletes, and that's sad.
It is very sad.
37.50. Oh, 37.5.
37.5. I was texting that out so that people could see that 37.5 was a total. I thought it would be a whole lot more for the United States. I don't know.
I would think so too.
And has anybody watched the Olympics yet? I really haven't seen that much.
If you look at it from like who's got more, like supply and demand kind of aspect, yeah, ours are probably lower because we've got more of them. They put a higher price in other countries because they haven't gotten as many.
Well, the AP is now reporting, I'm seeing this right now, that we sent all of our Olympic funds to Zelensky in Ukraine. So there's no money for the Olympic team.
Wait, say this.
makes perfect
Oh,
sense.
I was like,
Megan, I was
what?
teasing. I'm sorry, I was
Oh my
teasing.
gosh, get my blood boiling.
The United States has spent all of our Olympic funds on Ukraine.
We've donated all of the Olympic funds.
We'll give
to the-
37.5 to an Olympic American with a gold medal, but if you're Ukrainian, we're going to give you 500,000.
Yeah, no
We'll
way.
be paying for Ukraine athletes to win gold
Mhm.
medals.
Oh my gosh. Well, you would think, I mean, with the money that we have and the how gracious we are, and we just literally give handouts to foreign countries left and right, that we would be able to provide even at a higher number, Joe. Even because we do have more athletes, you would think that we'd be able to provide a higher amount.
Well, you would think for sure.
Mhm.
But it just shows that it's worth more to other countries to get
Yes.
that gold medal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with
and
that.
they don't get that many. So that that
Mhm.
would make sense, Joe. Totally makes sense for me. Snoop Dogg is swimming celebrity
Mhm.
spokesperson. I don't even
Saw
know what that
that.
means. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
He's been doing a lot of, just like promoting for.
The Snoop Dogg lit the Olympic torch.
Yeah, I did see that. I was
Mhm.
glad to see Snoop Dogg do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Todd. I'm not a huge LeBron fan either.
Yeah. I don't even want to get started on LeBron, but it is the Olympics. I just haven't seen a lot of the Olympics yet, and I love competition. I love sport, and they're 7 hours. Paris is 7 hours ahead of us in the Central Time Zone in America, so the time difference can make things a little bit more difficult as well. So
Yeah.
we do our best with that and see what we can do. This is canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret also here, and Pro Joe in the house. 100 days out to the election. We're
Yes.
100 days out to the election.
It's coming.
Do we make predictions on this Monday, July 29th? What is going to happen in the next 100 days? I don't want to freak people out, but I saw a report on Friday, the CDC trying to be aware, saying that, dare I say it, COVID cases are on the rise at a severe rate in 7 states.
Mhm.
Do I even go there?
Yeah.
I heard they're keeping the COVID stuff quiet because they want to wait until right before, because it is like there's an outbreak right now, but they're keeping it quiet because they're wanting to release it right before.
Sure
the
they
election.
do. Yeah. They want to cause a huge alarm for everyone to not want to leave their homes and to do mail-in ballots and the rest of the craziness.
Drink your lemon juice, people.
Also, Connie says 8 days until the Missouri primary as well. And by the way, while we're talking about that, can we show the picture of Mike Keogh? It is interesting because it's something that came out. We have people that support Ashcroft. We have people that support Keogh. And we have people that support Bill Eigel. I know we have a national audience. We broadcast out of the state of Missouri. There's a big Missouri gubernatorial election coming up. Donald Trump did weigh in. And Mike Keogh put this out over the weekend. He said, I was incredibly excited tonight to receive President Trump's endorsement to be the next governor of Missouri. So that's a big feather in Mike Keogh's cap. That is for sure, that Donald Trump has endorsed him. It wasn't one of those situations where I endorse Eric and there's like 7 Erics running for U.S. Senate out of the state of Missouri, which Trump did that night. So Donald Trump has gotten behind Mike Keogh in the state of Missouri. I think that would be big for him if he gets the word out and people know that he likes Mike Keogh.
Yeah, he just needs to start, putting the ads out there and letting people know that he's been endorsed.
So congratulations to Mike Keogh, Bill Eigel, and Jay Ashcroft also running well. Mike Keogh and Mike Keogh and Ashcroft have been neck and neck in most of the polling. But Mike Keogh has certainly had the most money. And then Bill Eigel, surprisingly, coming up and getting more and more support as the election goes on.
Yeah. So Abe just said, and Jeannie thought that he endorsed all 3.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't either. And Jeannie said that she thought that he endorsed Bill Eigel as well. So
if you can see where that happened, let me know.
Yeah. We're hearing that he endorsed all 3.
And maybe he's pulling another one of his Donald Trumps. I endorse Eric.
Yeah. Just Eric. Anyone named Eric.
Yeah, everybody's saying that he supported all 3 of them. I just hadn't seen. And if you have a chance on X, somebody send it to me too. So we want to make sure that we do that correct. Susan says, I got an email that Trump supports Bill Eigel. All of the above. So there you go. I mean,
that's good to know.
Mike Keogh's the one. Yeah. Gas tax. Then they all came out with their ads.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous. So then why does Donald Trump even do that?
Yeah. Why, if he's going to endorse all three, I mean, why not just say that he stands behind all the Republicans?
And is he doing it in every state?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a lot of freaking work.
And it's very
maybe
vague.
it's only the Republicans that don't follow the deep state narrative.
Well, Kimberly said,
Good
he
point.
said with any of them, you can't go wrong. And that's what I've said from the get-go.
Now that's a real good point.
When you interview these candidates, I always ask them, I'm like, okay, in a statewide election, you three remind me of each other. The major policies, you're all going to be the same. So then to me, it becomes a popularity contest. And I know some of the individual hardcore supporters of the candidates are like, well, that's not true. It's like, yeah, it is. I've been following gubernatorial elections for 25 years. They all three on the major points are all the same. They are. Now it's vastly different when it comes to a Democrat and a Republican, but then it becomes who you like best. So
I had a neighbor message me last week. She was wanting to know, who I would personally vote for. And, was just asking, well, what are some of the major points between the three? Because again, she heard, the propaganda about Kehoe, selling his farmland off to China and things like that again. And it's like, oh my gosh, people, you have to make sure that you really don't listen to what you're hearing. Sit down for a minute and go and read exactly what their policies are.
Yeah. So once again, all three candidates are saying that Donald Trump supports them.
Yeah.
But Eichel has the best commercials.
I second that, Joe. Absolutely.
Oh my God. We'll have to show that again next week if you guys haven't seen it. We'll have to pull it up at some point.
It's worth showing every day
because the damn commercials they've gone viral. They've gone viral nationally.
Yeah.
Because they've been so damn good.
We need to ask him next time he comes on whose idea that was and who produced that. That was awesome. That is so good.
We talk about it being 100 days out from the election when it comes to whatever's. Did you see what happened over the week? Do you have it?
I just pulled it up. Yeah, the viewers, when that happens, the viewers can't hear that. By the way.
Okay.
Only you can.
You know what? Can we show Eigel's commercial again? If you have it set and ready. If you do, we can show it just because we showed it last week. And this.
I'm Bill Eigel. Okay. I'm running for governor to crack down on illegal immigration.
Él es Bill Eigel y tomará medidas enérgicas contra la inmigración ilegal.
No more taxpayer handouts for illegals, period. Nada. Zilch. Zero.
No más ilegales, no más dinero, no más fiestas.
We're throwing them in jail and sending them back where they came from.
Ay, caramba.
Andre, arriba.
All right, we showed you that commercial last week. It's gone viral. Bill Eigel getting a lot of notoriety from those commercials. And I have no idea who put that together, but my God, is it good.
It is so good. I just love how the Mexican guy just keeps looking up and I'm like, did you seriously just say that? And I have to repeat it. I just think that is so funny.
From the chat line, and we try to get to your chats as well. Did anyone see the post with the assassin walking with the CIA agent? I think Tucker and Levine both were talking about it over the weekend. That was the man who tried to assassinate Donald Trump walking with the CIA. Would not be surprised if that were to occur. And by the way, because we do, people said they love it. Cindy says, I love it. I hadn't seen that one. Bill Eigel, that has to be, for that topic, one of the best ads I've ever seen.
For sure.
in a statewide election. You can't go wrong.
Yep.
We love Tucker. Also interesting news from the weekend. Who would ever thought that Tucker Carlson would pass? And Joe, you may get a kick out of this. You may have seen it. Joe Rogan as the #1 podcast host in the world. Tucker Carlson has now passed, more popular, more listens, views, watches, whatever, than Joe Rogan. So you now have a political guy who has taken over the #1 spot in the world when it comes to podcasting.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm really not. But because Joe Rogan he's not only just a top podcaster, it's by millions of views.
But if it were any other year, it probably wouldn't be happening.
You think because of the election and all the election talk?
Absolutely. And because of everything that's happened with Tucker, I mean, it would have never happened if Tucker just had a podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gosh, that's still, because Rogan, he draws views from all sides of the aisle.
From just having a podcast.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's really hard. it makes you wonder. So are there, liberal, Democratic type people listening to Tucker as well? It makes you wonder.
Maybe, but it was briefly, and it happened on Spotify. So it was on Spotify last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's of course because Rogan Rogan just left Spotify for reasons because they're trying to take away from the artist.
Well, where's Rogan now?
Rogan's on YouTube, back where he originally
Okay. And when
started.
did that occur?
Earlier this year.
Well,
it's been a few months.
But his show retook the spot on Friday. Retook the #1 spot.
Oh, okay.
So it was for that day, but Carlson overtook him, which was huge. I mean, huge. Candace Owens' podcast is the 8th most listened to on that platform.
Is it really?
That blew my mind.
Yeah. I always feel like I'm the only one that listens to her. I'm
No,
glad to know that I'm not.
No, I love her.
Yeah.
And by the way, Rogan signed an exclusive deal with Spotify in 2020 for $200 million for 3.5 years.
Oh my gosh.
He renewed this year for $250 million, which is why I was shocked to hear that you said that he was leaving Spotify.
Yeah, he left. Like that was a big thing not too long ago. I'm surprised. Well, I guess we didn't cover it. However, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just dreamt it. I'm going to do some research right now. However, I'm almost 100% positive Joe Rogan left Spotify.
Unbelievable.
Because it was all the controversy about how they were taking more of a percentage from the artist who sells through Spotify.
Is Spotify owned by China? That coming from Logan on the chat line?
I don't know. Did he ask it or is he stating it?
I don't
know.
know.
What did you say, Logan?
I don't know.
He's stating
yeah,
it. He's saying that it is.
Yes, he's stating it.
Oh my
Which blew my
word.
mind.
Why I shouldn't even be shocked at that. I mean, it's just a matter of time if we continue to just keep letting them own everything. I mean, how does that work? I'm still trying to figure out how TikTok is owned by China and we have it here, and yet it's a completely different thing than it is in China.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get that.
Yeah. February 2nd of this year, Joe Rogan left Spotify exclusively. Like he's no longer exclusive on Spotify because he left YouTube to go to Spotify, and he only posted clips on YouTube. But now he's back posting full episodes on YouTube, and he's no longer exclusive to Spotify.
Okay. Yeah, because that's how
Thank
I
you,
listen
Joe.
to him is on Spotify.
Oh my God. I didn't know this. Donna says that Candace Owen was just offered $25 million from ABC for the morning show to replace The View with Roseanne Barr.
On ABC? That is crazy.
Well, the networks need money, and The View wasn't bringing it, and we heard that The View was canceled.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
That
Candace Owens and
really
Roseanne Barr?
So we might actually have one other network besides Fox News that would be allowing
I don't know. Wow.
conservative talk. That's mind-blowing. If that's not seeing a huge tide turn, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to read about that. Who brought that up, Donna?
Yeah,
Thanks,
I would
Donna.
check. Yeah, I would
That's
absolutely
great.
love to know who that is.
Yeah. Did you, Joe, can you see about Candace Owens and the 25 million?
Yeah, I was trying to look that up as well.
Yeah.
Ben says it seems unlikely. I agree. That would be unlikely for ABC and that kind of money, but it all depends on the kind of advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, you are what people think that you're worth. Jeannie says, I heard someone is buying ABC. Elon, maybe that now, if somebody else is buying ABC, that's a possibility, but I'm telling you, the networks are not doing well. They're not.
Yeah.
It started with local news because nobody watches local news anymore. They don't trust it. They have their own viewing patterns and habits. And I mean, when I say nobody, the numbers that used to watch it and watch it on a consistent basis. Susan says, I would watch that for Candace, but not for Roseanne Barr. I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge Candace Owens fan too.
So according to Snopes, that is satire.
Of course it is.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we
That's a
do
lot
know
of
that
money.
The View's an absolute joke, and every one of the hosts on there has been an absolute joke. And they've proven and shown who they are.
Yeah.
They won't listen to fact. They won't bring up facts. You know what they are.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and I agree with the Roseanne Barr. I think that Roseanne Barr would be great to bring in every once in a while, just because she kind of brings like that lightness to serious topics, just like the way that she laughs, and she's a little bit more crass. But I don't know that I would want to watch her every single day either. But now Candace, I could. That girl, she can bring the truth to any place, anytime, and she does not hold back. And that's what I absolutely
Well,
love
the best
about
thing
her.
is that she's a Black woman talking about how Blacks have been lied to and how her fellow Black culture, and this is her speaking, not me speaking, has been stupid to believe the lies of the Democratic Party for generations because it's easier. You need a crutch, and it's always easier to point the finger at somebody else than it is to actually look in yourself and go work hard, which she said that and says all the time that her Black brothers and sisters just don't do. They look for the easy way out and they get hoodwinked because their parents told them they needed this. And then, of course, this year, you're going to see over 20% voting for Donald Trump when it comes to the African-American community. Deal with it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, she, years ago.
If there's an election.
Right. Years ago, her take on systemic racism is absolutely brilliant. You know, she basically is like, hey, look, obviously I am Black. Obviously I grew up in a Black community. I know what it's like to be Black, but we are not dumb people. We can achieve the same exact things as anyone else, you know, and so basically what she's saying is, you know, us being Black in her community, we're not dumb. So for you to act like you are, or to act like we can't get out of where we come from, is simply not true. And just the fact that the whole systemic racism, that's done. It's over. And is there racism? Yes, but systemic racism is a really deep and involved system that we're not going back to, like, you know, the early 1900s. And so for people to constantly use that as the scapegoat, it's just not true.
This is Cancel This Again. That's Megan Marie Moret. I'm Vic Faust. Sorry, Projo in the house as well. So just some interesting facts, some things that were popped up that, you know, it happens, and, you know, we'll see. Donna said special on TV last night about Kamala Harris trying to make her look like an angel. Of course, it's going to happen. And we're going to start talking about some of those things that are going on right now when it comes to the media and Kamala and voting. And the one thing that I brought up, somebody just sent this to me too. Be careful about what happened in Venezuela, because the Maduro regime, which is hardcore evil right now, just evil in Venezuela, helped destroy a country. Pure communism right now. They literally put out polling numbers so fake to try to steal the Venezuelan election. Then total numbers equal 109%. 109% voting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Is it coming to America? Maybe. Guess what polling systems were used in Venezuela the last election they had? Dominion.
Lovely.
And I know there are some people who question what's happening with Dominion. And it was used in the United States. So, the Venezuelan National Electoral Council says that President Nicolas Maduro has won the election despite exit polls suggesting that he would have lost by massive numbers. Could we see that happening in the United States?
It's already happened.
I
do. I believe that.
I think they're testing it in Venezuela right now, and just to see how they'll respond, to get a gauge on how we'll respond.
Well, Venezuela has been almost burnt down completely to the ground before. So, would that happen again? I'm not sure. I would hope that here and within our country, we wouldn't let it get that far. But again, if it were during the Biden administration, I could see things getting burned down a lot more than if, Trump were in office. That's for sure. Let it burn is what they'd be saying. Kamala and Biden.
But you're already seeing it. And this whole thing was planned. We already know. There's no way in hell a woman who has shown us half a brain, not our opinion, it's what she has shown us for almost 4 years, who has accomplished nothing, who didn't have one Democrat vote for her to be in the spot that she's in. Not one Democrat has voted for her. Not one. On top of everything else, this woman was put onto the ticket despite Joe Biden not wanting her, despite them not talking, despite them not getting along. And you saw how the media tried to get away from the board. We showed you all the comments. We showed you the writing. We showed you the newspaper reports. Everybody said she was the border czar. Now you had other people coming back in. Oh, no. And black women who have just been sold a bill of goods. And I feel sorry for them. Not all of them. Oh, she's just being trampled on because she's a black woman playing the race card, because we know weak people play the race card. That's what they do. Weak people play the race card. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, Hispanic. Weak people play the race card. And that's what they're trying to do. The evidence shows she was the border czar. Biden said it. All the media said it. We showed you we showed you like 3 minutes worth of videos, proof of it last week. She didn't do the job because she knows she couldn't do the job, and she didn't want to do the job, and she's not capable. Now, all of a sudden, this woman with lower intelligence for somebody who should be in the position, and I say that only because of what we have seen to this date. You just don't say anything. You look at, somebody will show you the fruit that they produce, or they don't. She's produced no fruit.
Well, even taking, okay, pretend like she wasn't given the responsibility of the border and she wasn't the border czar. Fine, take that out of the whole equation. Look at everything else that she has stood for and has had a stance for. That in itself right there is enough to make you not want to vote for her. She has had no problem saying, that, defund the police. We talked last week about, all of, her soft on crime agendas. What I already said, defund the police, but then, just the fracking, tapping into our own resources. She was against that, which she's now getting blasted for. And she's, taking back her stance on that. So fine, take the border out of the issue. There are still so many other things that she stood for and that she still stands for that are horrifying enough. So, people, I hope, will take that into consideration when it comes to voting.
Well, you hope they are. Look at this polling, though, Joe. If you can pop the polling up from the picture that I sent you. This is what Fox News is trying to tell us right now when it comes to polling. We're talking about the most, just think in a week and a half to 2 weeks, the most unpopular vice president in the history of our country is all of a sudden leading Donald Trump in Wisconsin, leading Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, leading Trump in Minnesota, and leading him in Michigan on favorability ratings. There's no way in hell. The fix is in. We have seen this happen. It's not going to stop. They're going to continue, as I said, the attacks against Donald Trump, the lies, because they can't accept the fact that Donald Trump and Americans are wanting Donald Trump to do the job. All you have to do is look. We're going to show you some video in just a little bit here. Donald Trump's getting 20, 30,000 people coming out. Kamala's getting like 68, 100. It's people. It's the Venezuela effect.
Yes.
Once again, people go, they know what the hell is going on. I mean, that polling from freaking Fox News. Okay. From Fox News saying that that's where they're finding their numbers. Of course, we know it's BS. Brandon lowered the bar so Brenda would shine. Maybe that's we talked about it on this show.
Yeah.
Certainly makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, and the thing too to remember is that it was the Biden-Harris ticket. So for the last 3.5, almost 4 years, they have been on the same ticket. So, and she is still his vice president. So the problem for her is that, she's not this new and upcoming person that was nominated to be the Democratic candidate where she can have her own views on everything. She's got her own soapbox. She's got all of her new and fresh ideas that she wants to bring forward if she were elected. She has to somewhat, well, I guess she doesn't have to because anything goes with those bozos, but she should stand by what her and Joe Biden have been bringing to the table for the last 4 years. So, she has to tread carefully with what she's saying. Well, okay, so now I want to do things this way, but she's still a part of the Biden administration. She is still the vice president. So,
they're going to try to separate as much as they can.
They are, but we have to keep in mind, guys, that she is still the vice president. She's not this new upcoming gal that just gets to bring all of these new ideas. So who are you? Well,
be careful about who the media is. And this is what the media will do. They will lie to you. like they have, which is why you can't trust local media. You can't trust national media. You just can't. It sucks. You have to go out and you have to do research for yourself, and you have to listen to podcasts and people and trust them and look at them day after day. Are they bringing you facts? Are they backing it up? Or are they trying to force something down your throat?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
And someone brought up earlier, that she's getting, like, Kamala's getting the retired folks, in these, retirement communities that are coming out in droves in their golf carts and stuff. Well, so apparently, because I was reading about that as well, and this particular community, it's Florida community, which I think is what the surprise to a lot of people is. This particular community, they've been, liberal voters for a very long time. So it's not that they switched over because it's Kamala. These people in particular have always been Democratic voters. So, it's kind of like shocking when you see these people come out to support her. But for whatever reason, I'm not sure if they're getting like some extra little bonuses by living in their, I don't know. I don't know if the government is giving them like a little boost or something, but I have no idea why this community is voting the way that they do. But yes, they did. They came out in droves, all decorated with their, Harris golf carts.
Well, the other thing you have to be careful about, sorry, and I agree with the chat line, she's going to lie about everything because it's so easy to lie.
Yeah.
And then just, I didn't say this. I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. Trish says, yep, she's lying about Social Security, saying Trump is going to get rid of it. And he's not.
Yeah.
And then over the weekend as well, Schumer is now, and people, I'm telling you, the attacks are going to come on a daily basis. The Democrats were now trying to say that Donald Trump needs to get rid of JD Vance as his VP pick because he's so outdated. He is so off the mark when it comes to what America needs that if Donald Trump and his age were to become a factor, now they're trying to say about Donald what everybody said about Joe Biden. Oh, but if something were to happen to Trump because he's so old, JD Vance is like the worst guy you could ever have. The worst pick Trump could have had. They're saying that they're wanting Donald Trump to get rid of JD Vance. They're now attacking his vice president pick, and it's not going to stop. That engine is going to churn out new crap on a daily basis to see what they can do to try to distort, lie, and mess with Americans' feelings about the election. That's what they're trying to do.
That's what they said about Kamala too. Is that, if anything happened to Joe, we'd, and now here we are.
Well, what's happening right now, though, is that the Democratic, Party is still in a pot of boiling water. They've got things happening all over the place. They are so divided. They try to keep saying that they're united and they're standing by Kamala as the next candidate and all of these other things. But the truth of the matter is they don't know which way to go right now. And so what are they doing? Again, they're going to be on, a fence. They're going to try to come back to Trump, everything bad that he's done, everything bad that JD Vance has done. So I'm not surprised to hear everybody criticize who he picked. They would be criticizing anyone that they picked. So no matter who it's going to be. And again, I like JD. The more and more I hear him, the more and more I hear him, sit right next to Trump and really just basically affirm everything that he's saying. So again, but I don't know. I mean, I just have to have faith that Donald Trump sees something in him and knows exactly what he's doing. And he had a hard lesson to learn from Pence. So, I'm sure that he really was strategic when he decided that was going to be who he was going to pick. And we're going to do the same thing to Kamala, and probably a lot of the Democrats are going to do the same thing when she announces, in a week or two, who her VP is going to be. So, and that'll be interesting.
I'm just telling you, this is all, it's all theater. It is all freaking theater right now when it comes to Kamala Harris. There is no basis. She has no background. She has no ground to stand on when it comes to anything political right now.
Yeah.
Sit back, say as little as possible, only talk about a few things, let the media churn it out, and then we'll do whatever we need to do to make the Americans think, oh yeah, she can win this election. Mm-hmm. When we damn well know what's happening, when you see the turnouts, when you see the crowds, when you see the excitement and the passion and the love for Trump, it's there. You don't see that for Kamala. It's not there. They're trying. They tried to organize golf carts in communities in Florida.
A golf cart parade. Yes.
Didn't work.
That's what she's got going for her.
It didn't work and it won't work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work, which is why I don't know what the hell's going to happen coming up to this election.
Yeah. But there's going to be a certain group that we're going to see come out, and it's going to be these, a lot of women. It's going to be a lot of liberal women that are going to come out, and probably maybe some, of the Black community that probably will come out and support. But they already were. They were already supporting the Democratic ticket. But we just might see them more. We might, hear them a little bit more. But she can try and change her tune. And I don't know if anybody else has been listening to her, regularly lately when she comes out and she talks at her quote unquote rallies. But, her whole demeanor now has changed. She's taking on this Barack Obama kind of like sass, and, she's always just been real flighty and real light, tried to stay like neutral because God forbid anyone ask her a serious question or ask her anything on policy. That's when she's going to just freeze like a deer in the headlights because she doesn't know anything about policy. But now she's up there and she's like, oh, you just watch this. I'm going to this and that. And so it's interesting to watch her morph.
The second worst president in the history of our country was Barack Obama. And when they come out and they wave and they smile and they do everything else because it's all fake and they own the media, you can't get lost in that shuffle. Kamala Harris is not a woman who's intelligent enough or experienced enough with anything political to even be put in the spot that she is. But she was put into there after she got roasted. Remember, she got roasted 2%. 2% of America, Democrats wanted her, much less independents or Republicans. The fix is in. The Democrats know it. The party's a joke. They've got issues. They knew this was happening. They lied to you. And by the way, Fox News did confirm 80 in-person meetings between Kamala and Joe Biden. 80 in-person meetings in the last year to year and a half with Biden. And she was trying to tell everybody that he was still fit to be president, even up to the day that he backed out.
Yes.
So now we know that she's incompetent. And now that we know she's a liar, those are two things that she can't run from. But the media is going to continue to try to tell people that that's not who she is. And it's who she is. Yeah. We're only talking about facts.
Yeah. And I hope, too, to that point, I hope that everybody remembers that Biden, up until just a few days before he made his letter announcement, his paper letter announcement to the world that he was going to not run again, he was so steadfast in the fact that he was not going anywhere, that it didn't matter. Remember, George Stephanopoulos asked him, well, what if someone like Nancy Pelosi or, Chuck Schumer or any of these, higher ups in your party, what if they come to you and they say, you are not you're not fit, or it's best for us that you not run again? And he's like, that will not happen. I am not going anywhere. So now he's trying to turn him backing away. He's trying to compare himself to George Washington and how George Washington said that, he wasn't going to run again. George Washington was not forced to not run again. So they're trying to glamorize, Biden now, and that he did the right thing and he's so righteous and he just loves his country so much. But we have to remember that he did not want to go. I mean, that was a coup if you've ever seen one, and it happened right before our eyes.
Man, all of that stuff that's going on. Got a new update too about the assassination attempt we're going to get to. Videos from Trump over the weekend in Minnesota. What Kamala is going to do according to Democrats if she's president. But first, we want to give shouts out to our advertisers, Complete Auto Body Repair. Once again, Complete Auto Body Repair, 314-731-7999. You can also contact them at CompleteAB.com. Let them know you're from Cancel This. They love to hear it. That's why they advertise with us. They take care of your car, everything, inside, out, A to B. They don't nickel dime you. They get you in, they get you out. They tell you what you need to know. I used them just a couple weeks ago. Took my girlfriend's Jeep in, got it fixed. We were in, we were out very quick. A lot of people have those types of experiences. Give him a call. Curtis doing a great job. He came in last week and explained and kind of taught us all about vehicles as well. CompleteAB.com. Also, if you've been injured in a vehicle accident, whether it's car, truck, motorcycle, you got to give Dave Gregory a call. He is the conservative injury lawyer. You can find him at conservativeinjurylawyer.com. Once again, conservativeinjurylawyer.com. The phone number is 314-619-4230. 314-619-4230. I used him not once, but twice. Dave took care of me. Give him a call before you sign with somebody, a friend, a loved one, family member. You can't go wrong. There's a reason why other big name attorneys do their ads, and then guess who they call? They call Dave to take care of it on the back end, because Dave will take your call and he has super success. If anything's happened to you when it comes to your religious freedoms or your conservative freedoms, give Dave a call and tell him you're from Cancel This. And if you win a case, he will take less of a percentage if you tell him you are from Cancel This, because he appreciates what we do here. Once again, when's the last time that you heard an attorney promote themselves as the conservative injury lawyer? Because that's what Dave does. WeQuip USA, love them, great site. If you want to rent products or items that are out in your community, the website connects you. You can also put your own products up for sale, make a little cash on the side. WeQuipUSA.com. Once again, WeQuipUSA.com. They also rent spaces as well. Wenty's in the Chesterfield Valley, another big weekend for them. Also in Defiance, Missouri. Work hard, play hard. They've got some of the best food options you can imagine, an extensive menu. 7 or 8 different people will tell you 7 or 8 different foods. All of us here eat it. We like it. Great neighborhood place. You can't go wrong when it comes to Wenty's. And if you're grilling out, there's only one charcoal to use. It's the best charcoal in America, and it's made in the state of Missouri because that's where the best charcoal is made. Missouri is known for charcoal. It's rockwood, 100% Missouri hardwood, none of the additives, none of the extra things that you want to put in there. It's rockwood, and look for it. Besides, Jonathan supports this show and a lot of conservative causes, not only throughout the state of Missouri, but around the country. He also opened up a new sandwich shop called Capriati's. Capriati's was so good when he tried it in Vegas, he's like, I got to bring it to St. Louis. He's got one location right now in Rock Hill. They do a bang up job when it comes to catering. So check them out with the catering as well. This is Cancel This, canceltheshow.com. We appreciate you guys joining us here Monday through Friday. We begin at 8 Central. We end about 10 Central. Projo in the house, Megan Marie Moret. I'm Vic Faust. Grateful that you guys are watching us on Rumble, on X, on YouTube, and Facebook. And then we go to all the usual audio channels once the podcast ends. Okay. This deal from over the weekend, Megan, we're going to show you Trump. There is no way in hell Trump is losing momentum, losing independence, losing voters. We got a couple different videos of the crowds in Minnesota. Every time Trump goes out, there are tens of thousands of people. And because of the situation with the attempted assassination of his life, he has now moved everything indoors. This is outdoors in Minnesota over the weekend.
So awesome.
Look at this. People lining up hours and hours before. And you're going to tell me that that dimwit Kamala actually has a stronger base? Ain't no way in hell.
No
it's a lie.
way.
It's a game. It's a farce. There's no way in hell Kamala is within 20 points of Donald Trump. No freaking way. Look at these scenes.
It's amazing.
Every time he goes out, we see something that we have never seen. Record-breaking crowds, the excitement, the enthusiasm, the emotion, the passion, the love for Donald Trump.
Patriotism. It's amazing.
Can you say that again? I loved hearing that.
Patriotism.
Oh, Megan.
Red, white, and blue. The flag. Yes, it's beautiful. And you know, Kamala just does not. I'm surprised that they don't ban the American flag at her rallies.
You don't see that passion.
No, none of
patriotism.
No, not at all. And Pam, you asked just a few minutes ago why Trump is going back. That you heard he was going back to where, you know, he was shot. And I heard him say that he wanted to go back to that place because he wanted to honor the people, Corey Comparator, the gentleman that was just released. What was his name? Paul. James Copenhaver. So James Copenhaver, he was finally released from the hospital. He's got a long way to recover, but he wants to go back there and and basically say thank you to all of those people that came out, who's, now that we look back, all of their lives were on the line, and how they continue to support him. So that's why he wants to go back. That's who he is. He loves his supporters. He loves his country. And as we saw, 5 seconds after he was shot, he's not scared. And he is willing to put his life on the line and take a shot for democracy. So that's why he's going to go back. And I really respect him for that. I think that's huge.
I would go back for prayer, Mitch says. And you know what? It's another sign to say, you know what? Somebody tried to take my life. The Secret Service allowed it, or at least that. I guarantee the Trump family feels that way. God did not allow it. He had a different plan for me, my life, and my family. And I am not going to sit back and be afraid of that. I'm going to go back and do this the right way, since I couldn't finish the job. That's Trump-like.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's just
Trump is a true American hero. The guy is a hero. And it pains racist liberals, racist progressive liberals to hear that. They hate it.
Yeah.
They can't stand it.
And here's my question. What are they so afraid of? That's what I don't understand. These people are deathly afraid of Donald Trump. I understand the bureaucrats. I understand the deep state. I understand those people. But common people like us are so deathly and hatefully afraid of Trump. I don't understand. Is it, I would love to ask them, what exactly are you afraid of? Why, without knowing any of his policies, or the people that you are voting for, without knowing any policy, why do you hate him so much? Because he's up to bat for you. He is trying to conserve our country so that you can continue to have these goofball ideologies that you have, and that you can go out and you can have free speech and you can say all of these, ridiculous things day after day. He's up there for you. I just don't understand what they are so afraid of. Is he afraid that he's going to, make them accountable for their horrible behavior?
Because the Democrats are a party of pride. They're a party of lies. They're a party of saying things and then blaming you for it. They're a party of narcissists. They follow evil. They do. They follow evil policies. They are not concerned about kids. They're not concerned about God. They're not concerned about family.
Yeah.
These are facts. These are not my opinion. When you look at policy and you go straight down the list, that's what you see.
Yeah. And it is, like you just said, with policy, it's like all of the policies that they're trying to, put out and that they stand for, and all of the policies that Trump stood for the 4 years that he was in, how are those harmful to anyone? It is just common sense. And I mean that. And I don't agree with everything that Trump says. I don't agree with every single policy, but as a whole, I mean, how can you not agree?
Well, we've already talked about the deep state. Even Democrat Bill Maher, Trump has said he's going to clean it out. They know he knows where the bodies are buried. He will take care of business, and they can't have that man cleaning up the stuff, because they have already infiltrated the minds of many Americans who don't believe in true policy, who want this chaos, which is what we will have. We would rather have terrible finances, terrible security, terrible healthcare, terrible policing than let that man go in, because our pride is too great.
Yeah.
And of course, pride is the greatest sin that there is. Keep looking at the videos from Minnesota. We showed you one of the people outside. Pro Joe, if you can show the other videos of the Minnesota rally from the weekend. Not a soundbite yet, but I think you had another video. Just play it and we talk over it. Look at the crowd.
I don't know. Tom, you better bring this home.
Yeah, we see that at Kamala Harris rallies. Joe Biden, Democrats. The Democrats don't care about the USA. They don't bring their flags. They don't wear their red, white, and blue. There is no patriotism.
No.
It's all about New World Order. It's all about global agendas. It's all about give money to Ukraine. I mean,
well, they bring flags, just not the American flag.
Yeah.
They bring every flag but the American flag, and they wear everything that is anti-patriotic, in my humble opinion.
Did you hear what Trump said he's going to do when he's in office? He's going to make it illegal to burn our flag. And if you do burn our flag, it's at a minimum of 1 year in jail.
Love it.
Yeah. And he should.
Love it.
And also to that is we were going to talk about at some point, just about him making sure that Christians are protected, in our country. Everyone else, every other religious group, is protected. Every other religious group, has major laws, and anybody that goes against them or does anything to desecrate, whether it's their mosque or their synagogue or anything like that. Yet the Christians were the ones that are not being protected. And so he's going to make sure that there are laws against the persecution of Christians as well.
Well, here, and we're going to play a soundbite with that in just a second. Here's Donald Trump talking at the Minnesota rally as well. When it comes to healthcare, when it comes to just another issue, he's got the plans in place. He talks policy. He gets it. He tells you what he's going to do. And the Democrats in the deep state hate him because before he was president the last time, he told everybody he was going to do, and he did it. Donald Trump.
I will not cut 1 penny from Social Security or Medicare, and I will not raise the retirement age by 1 day, not by 1 day. And for 4 years, I didn't. For 4 years, you saw that, I didn't. By contrast, Kamala Harris cast a tie-breaking vote to cut Medicare by $237 billion. You didn't know that? A betrayal of American seniors. She betrayed American seniors. She's the one that cast the final vote.
Donald Trump over the weekend from Minnesota dominating as he continues to do. The man, every time he goes out, he picks up support. So be careful about what the national media tries to tell you. And you're going to see it even from Fox News because that's what they do. And they want ratings and they need money. They need the ratings for advertising. And you're smart enough to see what's happening in America right now. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen. Also, over the weekend, national media had to go back on a claim that J.D. Vance was backing Project 2025. It was false. Yeah. They've now had to go back and admit that they were wrong. Yeah. I listened when I heard this. J.D. Vance talking, he sounds like most of the people coming into the show, but they couldn't pin it on Trump. Then they tried to pin it on JD, and now they're getting blasted for it.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny. Like we're seeing, on the chat line, people talking about Project 2025. Is it real? Yes. Heritage Foundation. Yes. But if you take the time to listen and to do your homework, you will understand that this is not Trump's deal. This is not him. He's like, yeah, it's out there, but why am I automatically connected to it? So that talking point is null and void. You can, use that in a different arena, but when it comes to Trump and Trump being the next president, it's so funny that that's the ammunition that people are going to use, something that he outwardly says, I'm not connected to this. This is not my thing. I'm sure that he probably agrees with some of the information on these several 100-page project, but he's not standing by it. He's not endorsing it. So it's a dead talking point.
And Gary, I agree with you that Agenda 47 is Donald Trump's. I think I've heard him say that as well. So anyway, the best part about the whole situation is who Donald Trump is. Mm-hmm. And now you're getting to know exactly who J.D. Vance is. And of course, the Democrats are left with Kamala. And by the way, somebody said it earlier, there's no way they're going to pull the rug out from her at the convention. There's no way.
No.
Don't get caught up in that.
No.
There's no way in hell that's going to happen.
No, not unless some big hot dog shows up and is like, out of the woodworks and is like, I'm going to run against you. And they've got this whole other drama planned out. No, it's going to be her. Most definitely.
Yeah, it's her. So just let that happen and we'll go from there. Lisa says, weird. My cancel this and search was really low on my list.
Really?
Interesting.
That's good to know.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That means we're doing the job that we should be doing, and we're going to continue to do it as best as we possibly can. That was everything we had from Trump from Minnesota, right? Is that everything, Projo? I think it is. What I also found was, I wanted to bring up Donald Trump talking, and I believe the next clip that we have is about, he says that if he becomes president, he will have an anti-Christian task force.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, an anti-Christian task force, because he is sick and tired of watching Christians get lambasted across this country on every level for just trying to follow the Bible.
Yes.
I will create a new federal task force on fighting anti-Christian bias. And its mission will be to investigate all forms of illegal discrimination, harassment, and persecution against Christians in America. The weaponization of law enforcement is the greatest threat to freedom in our country, and nobody knows it better than me. I think I know it better than anybody. The reason Biden, Harris, and their thugs are so desperate to stop us is that they know that we are the only ones who can stop them. We are the only ones that can stop them. This is a movement, Make America Great Again, MAGA, the likes of which our country has never seen before.
I love listening to him talk.
Yes.
When's the last time you saw a president try to stick up for Christians in this country? And you see, because you know, and all of us know as Christians, how we get attacked for just following the faith.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And, oh, well, we're going to listen and we're going to put Muslims up over here. We'll say something that offends you, but we would never say anything to a Muslim.
Yes.
Ever.
No.
Donald Trump is trying, and he's putting it out there, and he's walking the walk after talking the talk.
Right.
I would absolutely love to see it, Megan.
Well, and I think too that the reason that we don't see as much protection against, the persecution of Christians, or, just the treatment of Christians, is because when Christians are being put back into a corner, they do not react the same way as other groups do, not just religious groups, but other groups. They do not react the same. And why? Well, it's a very simple fact. It's because a lot of them are trying to walk with Christ. So their hearts are different, their minds are different, their reactions to things are completely different. And so in this case, we do need someone to basically stand up for us and stick up for us and say, this is wrong. Just because they're not going to come out and act like animals, like all of the other groups do when they're put into a corner, or when, harmful, hurtful things are being said against them. That doesn't mean that we don't deserve the same respect and protection from those who want to come after us. It's just that we react differently. And I'm grateful for that, because I don't want to have a hard, dark heart like that. I don't want to feel like every time someone says that they don't like me or something that I stand for, that I want to go out and I either, want to hurt somebody or hurt something or, burn something down. It's just not who we are.
Well, there's a lot of lies and there's a lot of hate in this country, whether you're a Christian or not. The feeling and the thought process is being pushed again now with a variety of these liberal news networks that Donald Trump really wasn't shot and that it was all planned. They're really pushing this. Newsweek, stay away from Newsweek. I mean, they lie. They're trying to lie about that story. And now you have USA Today, which put up, and they're saying that the picture of Donald Trump is altered. Real picture is not altered. There's this consensus. Oh, well, it was all fake. Spread the rumor. It was fake. It was fake. It was fake. Because if people aren't actually studying the evidence, once again, if you study the evidence, you're like, oh shit, that happened. Oh my God, he just turned his head. That's the only thing that kept him alive. That's what they'll do.
The only thing that kept him alive. I mean, by the grace of God, that's for sure.
But
and they said that the 8 rounds missed him. 8 full rounds.
Yeah.
And word coming out today now, leaked text messages are showing that Secret Service counter snipers, their job is to look and notice anything suspicious. 90 minutes before Donald Trump was shot, they knew about the assassin.
Yes, they did.
An hour, and it wasn't 2 minutes, which is plenty of time. 30 seconds is plenty of time.
Yeah.
We're talking about 90 minutes in advance. They knew about Crooks.
Yeah. They took pictures of him before he even got up on the building, and they sent it out. Now they're saying that they sent it to the wrong people, that they didn't send it to the Secret Service. Irregardless, if someone is there and they're capable of taking pictures, well, the Secret Service should have been taking pictures as well. The FBI should have been taking pictures as well. There's just absolutely zero excuse for this kid to be walking around those grounds for as long as he was, and for the people that needed to see him were the last people that saw him. It just makes no sense, you know?
I mean, and then this just was released today. This came out, it came out last night from the libs of TikTok. Allegedly, and I'm trying to find it again here really quick. Oh man, I lost it. Ding, 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 ding. But now you can't find allegedly things about the assassination on FB.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people are alleging that Mark Z is now interfering in the election again.
Oh, I mean, makes sense. And that's where does he stand anyway? The founder of FB. Where does he stand? Because he was just saying how amazing it was to watch Trump, come near death, and how amazing it was and how strong he was to have gone down to the ground after he was shot and then to stand up and put his fist up. So which was that to save face? Who
I don't know.
like,
it was.
yeah.
He couldn't say, "Oh, well, it's so bad we missed," or whatever.
No, but
he's
he
not gonna
didn't have to
that.
say anything.
Yeah, true.
He did not have to say anything, and he made it a
Well,
point
he
to
does have
come
a
out,
product to sell.
yes, and say how great he thought it was and how brave he thought that Trump was that day. I mean, I was shocked.
Right.
I was like, are his ratings going down? Is that what this is about? Like, what's going on here?
He doesn't want to get canceled.
Yeah. Well, and
like we could stop using Microsoft.
Right. Exactly. That's a really good point.
Yeah, allegedly that's what FB is trying to do right now, according to an article with the libs of TikTok. It's very difficult to find anything and accurate information on the assassination of Donald Trump. It hasn't stopped, and they're going to continue to push narratives or hide it so that it's a black hole, so that it never happened. Google isn't just trying to memory hole the assassination attempt. They're also suppressing search results. For simply searching President Donald Trump, no results come up, and autofill. Try it out. See what happens on your social media platforms. That's
interesting.
That's what's being alleged happening with Google.
Hey, before we get too far away from this, since we were talking about, the things that Trump wants to do, we were talking about him, having like an anti, Christian, protecting Christians. He also says that his first day in office, he'd like to executive order the end to birthright citizenship. I bring this up because last week we were talking about birthright citizenship, and a lot of people were commenting and saying that they were wondering if, Kamala was even a U.S. citizen. And we were kind of talking about how if you are born here to non-citizen parents, that you automatically become a naturalized citizen. So, the first day in office, he wants to, completely change that. And he wants to end birthright citizenship. And he also wants to end the birth tourism citizenship. Now, this is just another crazy concept, but it happens all too often. And that is when people come to our country on like a visitor's visa, whether it's for vacation, holiday, whatever it is, visit family, and they come and they just, so happen to come towards the end of their pregnancy, and they go into labor here in the United States and have their baby. And then they use that, their baby being born here in the United States, as their ticket to be able to stay, or when they do leave, to be able to re-enter and then be allowed to stay. And, we're going to hear very soon that from all sides, you're going to hear Trump is, he's a horrible man. He's racist. He doesn't want any foreigners here. He's not going to allow any of these poor children that are born here to become citizens. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, again, that if you come here and you do things the right way and you go through the process, you can have citizenship here. And he's actually, which I think is very generous, is he's saying that, a child, if you have one parent that is a citizen and one that's not, even if that's the mother, you can have your citizenship, here. But, both parents don't have to be, citizens or illegal aliens. So he's being fair about the whole thing. But what he's saying is that you cannot use our generous system anymore to have your children born here and then be able to stay and then be able to then try and get your entire family. He's going to try and stop that too, is people using, their citizenship to be able to get their mothers, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, grandkids here as well.
I want to add something, what you were just talking about. Sorry, guys. Missouri Baptist in the St. Louis area, the labor and delivery waiting room, out of every magazine offered, not one of them is in English. So if you're sitting in there, none of the magazine, and I don't know, where there's smoke, there's fire a lot.
Yeah. Well,
none of them in English.
Yeah. And also, have you noticed that on Fox, even on Fox, there's commercials now where they're speaking Spanish. And I'm just like, whoa, like there's one in particular with this beautiful girl that's on there and she's speaking Spanish. I'm like, man, this is where we're at.
Chris, I agree. You have to end chain migration.
Yeah.
This country can't sustain it. We can't.
No, we cannot.
And I was just telling Vic earlier before the show about how my algorithm, most of the videos that come up on my feed are all in other languages. And that's,
really?
I was like,
what are you looking at, Joe, that your algorithm has gone that way?
I don't know. It's just Facebook. People fishing in China. You know what I mean? Like it's literally
my gosh.
It's weird videos that are not in English.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
That's
Trump
incredible.
Save our algorithm.
Yeah. I'm grateful that still all I get is babies and dogs. And now Frenchies for some reason. That's all I get in my feeds left and right. So
wow.
I'm grateful for that. So yeah, I think that everybody needs to be aware when we start hearing this again at how, he was a xenophobe, remember, and then he's a racist and he's a sexist and he's all of these things. And so now we're going to go back to, he threw children in cages. He did this, he separated families when they came over and all that. And actually Obama is the one that set up those
absolutely
the facilities. So, everybody wants to play the blame game because they don't know and they've never taken the time to understand what is really going on.
Well, we got some other major issues that are going on. We're going to get to what Biden's trying to do with the Supreme Court as he goes out. Like we said, they're going to use him as the fall guy, destroy this country even more and go, oh, it was Joe Biden, kick his ass out the door. And then he stops breathing. Oh, it was his fault, blah, blah, blah. And then we forget about him. But listen to Bill Maher go after Kamala Harris. Once again, nobody even liked Kamala Harris. She was the last person in the room because she was planned to be there. From the get-go, here is Bill Maher, a Democrat, a hardcore Trump-hating Democrat who admits to there being a deep state, who admits to that deep state wanting to go after Donald Trump. He just doesn't care. But also speaking truth about Kamala Harris.
Vice President will get all of Biden's campaign money. And on the Democrats' best issue, abortion, she's a walking reminder to women that Republicans are coming for the abortion pill. She won't just protect Plan B. She is Plan B. And as a former prosecutor, Kamala was putting criminals in jail back before liberals decided that was a bad thing. Now that CVS is locking the shaving cream behind plexiglass, Democrats are coming around to her again. Harris will be the first woman president, first black woman president, and first Asian president. But I don't vote for who will be the first. I vote for who will win. And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. In 3 years as vice president, she's been quieter than an electric car. And like an electric car, your MAGA uncle can't explain why she fills him with homicidal rage. She just does. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact was put in charge of the border. And look at how... Okay, bad example.
Oh my gosh.
Bill Maher, awesome job. All factual, by the way. Everything he said was 100% factual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that
she is not presidential material?
Did you?
She is terrible.
She is terrible. She's horrible. She's horrible, as Trump says. But I mean, I love him. I love him now. I mean, I never thought that there would be a day when I would say that I love this guy.
Well,
I
he's
love
speaking
Omar.
truth.
I mean,
he's speaking truth.
And he just is okay enough to admit that he also was not seeing things for the way that they truly, truly are. And I love that about him. He's a public figure and he has no shame in coming out and saying like, hey, I mean, I was on the wrong side for a long time and I am truly seeing things for what they truly are now. And I appreciate that about him.
Why do people keep asking if we think she's going to get the nomination? Yes, I do. Why? What is going? Why wouldn't she get the nomination? The entire party has now banded behind her
because they have been playing.
There is
us,
nobody else.
But who knows? Okay, a month ago, 2 weeks ago, no one, including us, was talking about her being up to be the next president. No one was. We were talking about
it was so far
Michael.
out of the realm of thought.
It was. She was the last
because
person.
She was the most unpopular vice president in the history of this country.
She was not even an option for the left or for the right.
Now, maybe I'm just missing it. There's multiple people who think a bomb's going to drop.
But here's the thing, and they keep trying to normalize everything. Now, all of a sudden, she's the best candidate that ever. She's the first Black, the first Asian, the first woman. You know, all of these things like. You know, she's just been sent, you know, as, you know, the savior for the Democratic Party. But not too long ago, we were thinking that Joe Biden was going to make it until November. He was going to run. And if he wasn't, it was going to be a last minute switch and it was going to be Newsom or it was going to be Michelle Obama or who were the other people? There was just a couple other ones. So I think that everybody's still curious because they keep pulling this stuff out of their, you know, magic hat.
No, they're lying with the polling and everything else. You don't go for
they're capable of anything.
Yeah, of course they are.
Is what it boils down to.
This is what's interesting too. New Trump polling average lead in Arizona has increased by 1% since Kamala got in the race. He now leads by 6.4. That according to the DDHQ polling, which is pretty much down the middle. It's not Newsweek polling. It's not Fox News. It's not CNN. Very interesting. 51% to 44.7 for Kamala. Very, very, very interesting. Also, we talk about it. It's been a story kind of intertwining throughout the show. When all of the crap that we see happening, there's major backlash right now in Venezuela. The opposition party saying that they've been stopped. There's literally video of armed men going into polling stations, taking the boxes and not allowing people to vote. I mean, could this stuff happen in the United States? I don't know. We'll see where it all goes.
Yeah,
but it's something to start thinking about.
I surely hope not. Well, then you've got people like, who's that woman in Congress, the Black woman, and she's, you know, declaring that the conservative Republicans were training up in the hills for what we're going to do and our attack for if Trump does not win the next election. You know, so you got people like her that are out there saying that we are all training right now as we speak to do a counterattack. And we are going to run the streets and we're going to, you know, shoot everybody up because we all love guns and we're all packing and all of these other things. So you've got these left lunatics that I think that this gal truly, truly believes that if Trump doesn't win, that we're going to come out of the hills in our camo,
of course,
and start shooting everybody up.
Well, it fits their narrative as well.
Yes, Maxine Waters. That's it, Julie. Thank you. Yep.
Oh, Maxine, she doesn't even deserve our breath. Unfortunately, she's from the St. Louis area where a lot of terrible politicians start their careers on the Democratic side. Guys, there's something else that's going on too. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but once again, this has Obama written all over it. This has Jake Sullivan written all over it. Look at this piece, this little update that Fox News did about what Joe Biden is trying to do. Joe Biden is trying to change the Supreme Court before he leaves. Here's the report.
President Biden has just announced proposals to reform the Supreme Court. This happening literally a minute ago. These would include no immunity for crimes a former president committed in office, term limits for Supreme Court justices and a binding code of conduct for the Supreme Court. Joe Biden also releasing a new op-ed this morning saying in part, quote, "This nation was founded on a simple yet profound principle. No one is above the law. Not the President of the United States, not a justice on the Supreme Court of the United States, no one. I have overseen more Supreme Court nominations as Senator, Vice President, and President than anyone living today. I have great respect for our institutions and separation of powers. What is happening now is not normal, and it undermines the public's confidence in the court's decisions, including those impacting personal freedoms. We now stand in a breach." Katie Cherkasky is a constitutional law attorney and former federal prosecutor. She's here now to react. Katie, that's a mouthful. What's your reaction to those plans?
Well, these are very pie in the sky type of ideas. Nothing about the Supreme Court reforms could be immediately implemented, but it certainly shows the position of the Democrat Party. They don't like the outcome of the court's ruling, so they want to change the rules here. So many of these reforms would require, if not legislation, actual constitutional amendments. So again, not politically viable at the moment, but certainly a strong and radical position.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Could it be a pipe dream from the chat line? Yeah, it could be, but it shows you what they're trying to do and trying to set that stage. Let's plant some seeds in your mind, because we know there's a lot of people in this country that don't look at evidence or facts. They'll just hear a headline. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then the mob mentality takes over.
Okay. So I might shock you when I say this.
Okay, here we go.
But
here we go.
There are some things that I agree with.
That's fine.
That he says when he wants to reform the Supreme Court. I agree that no one should outwardly talk about a political affiliation to any party. I agree that if you are involved
We've seen that with the Democrats, though, so far.
Exactly.
On the Supreme Court.
That's what I mean. So, and this is where it's like, okay, Joe, so if you want this, and it's got to be all the way around. So if there's any reason that you should not sit on a case, whether it's due to an affiliation with a group, whether it's political, religious, whatever it is, if that makes you unfit to sit, you do need to remove yourself. But I also think that should go for federal cases as well. I think that should go like in, for instance, Judge Merchan. I think that since he was directly and outwardly affiliated with a certain political party and a certain political person, I think that he should have not, taken, it upon himself to remove himself. I think that he should have been removed under this same kind of reform. So if you do not want people judging, on certain cases and they have affiliations to things that they should not, they need to be removed. So it should work on more than just the Supreme Court. And I don't think that people like RBG should have been sitting in at that age.
No, I'm not opposed to term limits.
Yeah.
For anybody on anything. As a matter of fact, I like term limits. So I would not be opposed to that on a Supreme Court either.
Yeah. And I also, another point, I'm okay with making sure that what presidents do during their time in office, that they are held accountable. I'm okay with that. Why should they be any different? But again, that goes for someone like Joe Biden. It's funny that he's bringing this up now at the end of his term, whereas if something were to go back into one of the many crimes that he committed during his time in office, I'm sure that there's a lot that we don't even talk about. It's just funny how he wants to do this towards the end.
Because it's not him.
Exactly.
And we know who it is.
Exactly.
It's Obama. It's the deep state. They don't want Joe Biden anywhere near anything where he can actually touch it, because we know he can't, but we'll put his name on it, get it done, kick his ass out the door, and then be done with it. Yeah. Because damn, we are seeing it. Jeannie says Trump is smarter. He will figure it out and make it fair somehow, some way. No, it would handcuff our country coming from the line. That will surely come back to bite them. Yeah, it could. Absolutely, it could. All this stuff could. We're just trying to bring you the facts. That's what we do every single day here. Because man, oh man, we've got a lot of stuff that's going to be thrown in. 100 days until the election. Don't think for a second that they're not going to try. They are not going to just sit back and just let things happen. They're coming. They're coming full go, and they're coming at Donald Trump as well. And the media is right there with them. And I found this interesting. I'm going to send this to you as well. Elon Musk has really gotten very vocal too. Very, very vocal. Joe, I wanted you to play the Kamala Harris bit. This is Elizabeth Warren talking about who Kamala is as well when it comes to illegals and the voting, because you should be scared hitless, as I like to say, when it comes to what they're trying to do. And Elizabeth Warren was actually talking and is telling you who Kamala Harris is and what she's going to do with illegals.
The border, to have more resources in the states and cities that are supporting migrants. And I believe we need to create a pathway to citizenship. All of that is a part of what we need to do for comprehensive immigration reform. Kamala Harris will work with Congress and get that done. The border,
okay,
to have more.
Elizabeth Warren just told you Kamala Harris, if president, will make illegals legal and get comprehensive immigration reform. What that means is making illegals illegal with the swipe of a pen, with the swipe of a signature.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she's going to do.
Yeah. First of all, whenever I see her, I laugh. I cannot take Pocahontas seriously for 1 second. I mean, I have literally no respect. I cannot believe that they have allowed this woman to continue to have a voice. I mean, she shouldn't be allowed on, the Muppets, much less Congress. I mean, for her to have deliberately, intentionally, and blatantly lied about her being an Indian. I mean, she looks about as Indian as you do.
Yeah, we know it's the same Democratic thing that has gone on. Lie, cheat, steal, blame other people for what you're doing.
But here she is. So she's saying this, but again, she wants to talk about the immigration reform. You're darn right. You need a reform. You need a big reform. If you're, like I said earlier, if you're going to continue to allow these people in and invite these people in, you need to do a huge reform, because you think that you're helping all of these people. Well, hopefully little by little, it will start to be more exposed of exactly what is happening. And, a lot of these people are coming here and they're sleeping in our airports. They're sleeping in high rises. They're sleeping in hotels. They're getting food tickets, meal tickets, healthcare, in some instances, cars, cell phones. They're getting a lot. But you have to remember that there are millions and millions and millions of these people here. And there's a really large population of them that are not living in these high rises and in the comforts of just a sheltered airport. They're living in horrible conditions. So yes, you know what, Elizabeth, Pocahontas, I agree with you. There needs to be a reform, and it needs to be on the Democratic end. And you need to fix what you guys are doing to these poor people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, another thing that Donald Trump just reposted, Elon Musk had a very funny video. It's a parody of a Kamala Harris ad. And this is basically what we have seen the media and the Democratic Party do with Kamala Harris. This is outstanding. Thank you, Elon. Check it out.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time. Right?
Here we go.
The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea.
Yeah, of course.
It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean, Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Do you like that soundbite at the end?
Oh my God, that is the best video ever.
So good. And the funny thing is that we could play this right now and make it look like it was like serious. You know, we could, you know, show it and have the left party watch this, and they would think that it's all true and all great. They have no idea that this is complete satire, and we're basically making fun of all of the ridiculous things that she's done. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it's the best ad ever. It's a great campaign."
People from the chat line, we have got, yes, like, subscribe, share the show, share that video, get it out there. Donald Trump shared it this morning. He loved it. And Gavin Newsom was like, Elon needs to take this down.
Of course. But they've got all of these, you know, these ads out right now calling, you know, Trump a sex offender and a racist and a sexist, and that's okay. But, you know, again, it's definitely one-sided when it comes to the left. Hypocrisy at its finest.
Gary says she's a dumbass. Pam says, I love it. Susan says, I would share this every day. Maybe we'll take some time and just remind people who she is on a weekly basis. Maybe we'll show the video. God knows. Who knows?
The one thing that they didn't add in there is that she was a big proponent of defunding the police. You know, so well, you know what? We got to talk about that this week, because there's a lot to it. And to hear her try to explain her stance on defunding the police and what she thinks would be better than having more police on the street will blow your mind. I mean, it's like a 5-year-old in her way of thinking.
There is something else that we'll keep a track of. Maybe we'll do something with this tomorrow. But Laura Loomer had a tweet just reposted by Donald Trump, and she was talking about, because here's what Kamala's doing. Kamala is now reaching out to social media influencers. They're hitting TikTok really hard right now. Very, very, very hard. She's literally playing to social media influencers to post in support of her campaign, to deceptively create an illusion that she has grassroots support on TikTok and Instagram. She's literally trying to do it right now. Laura Loomer put it out there. Donald Trump just reposted it to make sure people understand what she is trying to do. For instance, they're paying for social media influencers right now to post videos and to post social media influencers to get them to say that they're supporting her, and which is further evidence that her online social media support is fake and paid for. So just remember that.
Yeah.
So they're trying to break it down right now. But will younger people know the difference, though? I don't. Is that who it's trying to get?
Yeah, but yes, they are. And Glenn, you just said that the only ad that Trump should show are videos of her cackling. Here's the thing: is her campaign is making, you know, reels and different videos of her laughing, her dancing, her carrying on, all of this goofball stuff, because she's trying to attract that younger audience. So they're already doing a great job in their own right of making her look even more ridiculous. But then when she is talking at rallies and she's with a more adult, more mature, if you dare to call them that, crowd, she now, you know, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. So now she's up there and she's like, I know who Trump is, and I'm going to go after him, and I'm going to do all of these things, trying to make herself sound like she's real stern and serious. But then on the social media, she's, you know, that cackling hen, that just Fruit Loop of a gal.
And from the chat line, we need to remind people the soundbite where she said that 18 to 24-year-olds were basically stupid. She basically said they're stupid. And we played that soundbite for you last week.
Yeah.
Make sure that they understand that. But she won't be playing that on TikTok. She won't be asking the social media influencers to say that, because she's a liar. In some cases, I think she's worse than Biden because she's calculated. Biden was just an idiot.
Yeah.
And there's so many dumbass Democrats who were still supporting him up till a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, after the debate, oh, well, we can't have him anymore. I mean, I've got messages saved from Democrats, and you know who you are. You guys are dumb. I mean, you're really stupid and you're sad. I'm sorry. I still have all your written words.
Oh my God.
You guys are just, I mean, I'm sorry. You're losers because, oh, he's going to wipe the floor with Trump. And then, oh yeah, now Kamala's going to wipe the floor. It's like, my God, these people are such idiots. I feel so bad for them.
No, they
I
are
got
standing
several
by.
messages of people.
He was sick, Vic. He
And
had a
now
cold and he had a
Kamala's
cough.
so great. Really?
It was only one bad night. The rest of his presidency and everything else that he said was right on and 100% true. And he was just, it was just one bad night. Oh my gosh.
Also coming in yesterday, Fox News was reporting this. One of the candidates that's a possibility for VP, Mark Kelly from Arizona, Senator Mark Kelly. Guess what? He's the guy that started the spy balloon company that was funded by China. Do you see how the dots connect? The dots always connect on the Democratic Party. It just goes in a little circle. They connect to here, to here, to here. Oh yeah. And everything just circles up.
Yeah. Did we, speaking of that, did we talk last week about all of the different Chinese and Russian planes that were flying up near Alaska?
We did vaguely.
Yeah.
I mean, not vaguely. We did talk about how all of these things are now starting to happen in concern of where we are in the final, 5-6 months of Joe Biden being in office.
Yeah. I mean, Secretary of Defense even said, he's like, yeah, they're testing us. They're testing us. I mean, wow, that makes me feel really safe.
Oh, yeah, of course it does.
And that just, can you imagine if Trump was in there and people were daring to test their missile planes near our own, one of our own states? That just would not go over very well.
None of it's going to go over well. And of course, and it shouldn't. And because we all know what Donald Trump is. He is the leader. He has proved it. We've got to get over the whole situation of the assassination attempt. That's what the media is trying to do. It's a cycle now. Forget about him. Forget about it. Forget about it. We'll hide it. We're going to do whatever we possibly can to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got lots more coming. I mean, just in the coming days, we don't even have a VP for Kamala Harris yet. So the storm is just going to keep brewing and brewing, probably all the way through to January. There's just going to be lots of different things. Lots of curveballs coming. So it's going to be fun.
You brought him up earlier. Wanted to make sure I found him. His name is James Koppenhaver. He was released from the hospital today, but he does face a long recovery. He was shot in Pennsylvania in the assassination attempt, unfortunately.
Yes. But he's out. Isn't that great?
No, that's good. That is good.
Such great news.
It's no fun to be in a hospital, that's for sure.
No, and he's still just even now more supportive of Trump, which I think is just so amazing. Just the strength that his followers have.
There's a lot of other stories that are going on. We're following some of these things as we'll continue this week. We appreciate you guys messaging us, letting us know if you know of advertisers, sponsors that want to be a part with us. You can email vic@cancelthisshow.com, vic@cancelthisshow.com. We take donations of any kind. We're grateful for anything that you can do to help us out to continue to do what we're doing here, continuing this free speech, continuing to promote what is the conservative party, continuing to support Donald Trump and everything else that's happening all across this world. That's for sure.
Yes.
So with that, we thank you for joining us. And by the way, huge day. We're grateful. Numbers continue to go up, and that's because of you liking, subscribing, sharing the show, letting people know what we're doing here. And once again, Megan is here now as long as we're doing as much as she can full time. We appreciate Megan jumping in. You're doing this is you. You were meant for this.
Aw, thanks.
We're grateful you're here, whether it was here or somewhere else. And you've got your trafficking podcast information, which is the content there in the library that she has and that she's building. It's second to none. And I told her as soon as it gets out there, all the national networks are going to want you. They're going to want to talk. They want your knowledge. They're going to want you to speak because you're actually somebody who's in it. You're living it, helping people who've been trafficked. So
thank you.
Yeah, we're grateful
and
for
you
it.
guys, thanks again for all of the sweet comments that you guys have been leaving throughout the show. I appreciate it so much. And you guys are hilarious. I wish that I could go back and comment to each of you guys funny comments today. I mean, you guys are seriously, and that's what I love so much about this. And that's why I would love before I was on or just when I was just filling in here and there is I really, truly enjoy, talking to you guys and reading what you guys have to say. I mean, what just a group of smart yet funny people. I love it so much. So keep on being funny. And keep laughing.
We appreciate it, guys. Have an awesome day. So for Pro Joe and Megan Marie Moret, I'm Vic Faust. This is cancelthisshow.com. Thank you for being here. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow for cancelthisshow.com.